All right, everybody, we're going to figure out what we can do about our water. We have some Appalachian attorneys here out of Martin County, a couple other people. So let's get this started. Let's see what we can do.
Which I'm kind of salty about.
So here's, I don't know if I should bring this up or not, but here's another one of my passions. Mountaintop removal. What's that got to do with our water quality right now?
And that is definitely something that we can bring up here in a moment. Like, that is a concern that you may have, or ideology that you may have. And that is something that as CDCs can look deeper into, of how that interconnects with the community with that type of topic, and make sure there's no constraints to the quality of water because of that practice. And that's something that we can look in with our networks, like with ACLC or other departments and other leaderships and such, to kind of just understand more in depth, like, does this harm our system?
They've studied it.
I know it does, but it's like, is it active practice still, and is it to the point where it's causing our system more harm than good?
Well, I can talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, she can talk way more about it. But do you want to give another 5 minutes just to see if some more audience members are going to come? So are you, sorry, pardon me, what's your name again, sir?
Mark.
Mark? Hopefully. I'm terrible with names, but I'll remember by the end of the day. Are you live streaming from Facebook?
No, I'm just recording.
Or you're just recording in general?
Yeah, I record it and then I upload it on YouTube.
Mark,
Yeah.
don't take me. Okay, awesome. Awesome. Well, if anything, with this recording, you know, if we don't get like the public audience, we can, you know, see if Mark would be interested in wanting to share it on social media, to where we can try to get feedback. That way, they feel in more of these and more understanding and knowledge sharing behind, you know, the toolkit too. But it's harder to express and explain the toolkit online compared to in person, but we'll work through it. We're going to give it another 4 minutes and see any stragglers come in, and then if not, we'll get started.
Well, I'll just go ahead and talk about mountaintop removal a little bit to you, because it's not, this is just a little bit of information that I know about how it impacts water. I'm not absolutely sure about water.
Where do you want me to go live at on Facebook, and you want me to,
About water
if
quality.
public comments come up, ask
Stuff that
you?
actually impacts drinking water.
I'm sorry, I can't do, but
That has,
No, you're good.
I was trying to get logged in here to do that.
Oh, I mean, it's whatever you're comfortable with. We don't care to do if you want to rather do YouTube and then download the video and then get feedback that way.
That'll happen anyway, because I mean, but if you want me to go live and look at and let people have the, I don't care to do that.
It's your call.
That's fine.
Okay, well, I'll go live right now.
I think everyone here is comfortable with it anyways. We've already spoken with them and he's the one doing it, so
Yes.
and we're comfortable with it. If you'd want, you could move it up closer even, just get so you
Yeah,
get
you
closer
can.
to that.
Yeah.
Because we'll actually have you all do the sticky notes with us at the tables, but you can move it up closer so you can actually see the water.
And what other people's responses are, and then.
Okay.
But yeah,
it's
we
hard to say
appreciate
for
that.
sure, but
Yeah, we
the way
don't think it.
mountaintop
I mean,
removal
I'll do anything for the community. I mean,
is because it gets rid of the
Yeah, see,
natural
our
barrier
role
that
with their
keeps everything from
LiKEN
sliding off the hill
nonprofit,
into
we just
water.
really just want to spread
And
knowledge,
there are also trees
learn knowledge ourselves so we can spread more knowledge.
And then with, you know, the idea of action in the mind frame of the works and things that we do in our
They talk about
community,
that a lot.
the more that we know from a resident point of view,
And it'll keep stuff.
because our work is very
Yeah,
community
yeah.
focused.
So that kind of gets rid of that natural filtration system, and so it puts more work
Do you need some help?
onto.
You're good.
yeah, do it all the time. That's the one that lock.
All that stuff.
I kept like leaning back and
You
forth.
know that that's got to put stuff in
Yeah,
it.
little
We
drainage.
can get it down. You're off level a little bit more.
But the water always has, it tests the water.
That goes down.
And it has to be, that's why you can't boil water faster, because this stuff doesn't.
They test it, but aren't some of the limits, isn't there some of that stuff that's still in the water that the limits say it's okay to have?
Yeah, that's through the EPA, they set the limits.
Let me go over to my main page and let them know that I'm live streaming.
And, so, yeah, but if it's safe to drink, they've done the research on it.
If you wanna
I
make the
think,
title
but
or the description
You
of the
can look
live,
into the testing
if you wanna
reports
help
too
me type
online
out
if you go
like
to
a
Kentucky Water Watch.
knowledge community session.
And you can look up your
Is
system.
That's what I
water
wanted
awareness
to
in it?
know.
Yeah, you
Let's just
should.
say like in water awareness.
Okay.
It's a fancy panel now. I got it from
Yeah.
church. No,
My
that's not it.
sister-in-law
That's it.
has lost all three of her children to cancer, and they live right there by the water plant in Kaywood. It's just
Let's
too
just
much
say
for
like in,
residents, you know?
Yeah.
water awareness, short and sweet, because I think there's a,
I mean, I can't say
Takes
anything
time.
about it, but yeah.
No, you can't. But
Same meeting, just-
common sense would make you wonder what in the world's going on.
And there are so many different environmental, like just things out here.
Here
you
is
know,
the,
like things going
And I
on.
was thinking,
Title of the
for
event.
years,
For when you go live.
people
All right.
have carried.
You want me to go live on my personal page? Cause it's got more followers than the other one.
That's up to you,
um,
whatever you think.
wells.
and I would love to get that video and save it in our archives, just to code and look through too, just in case.
Yeah, it's really frustrating, and I hate for work and get
YouTube.
I
You
don't-
can look it up after.
You know, that's a concern, but to me, the concern is about our children and the younger generation.
That's where I was
Yeah.
talking about, this is,
But the area of
Yeah,
my
okay.
concerns,
and
Yeah.
then Clover Lick is just.
I
a
live
community
8
that I live
miles
in.
off.
We are live and we are recording.
All
Alright,
right.
sounds good to me.
Thank you. Mackenzie, start us off, sister.
Alright. You're recording on your YouTube as well?
YouTube,
Okay.
yep, and Facebook.
Alright, so I'll introduce us first. I'm Mackenzie Gillum. I'm the Harlan County Community Engagement Coordinator for LiKEN Knowledge. LiKEN is a nonprofit organization that works with social and environmental justice across the nation, and I get to work right here in my home county. We have a few different projects that we work with. One, which we're talking about today, is the water project. We work with just water, knowledge around water, and quality, just any spreading of information there. So I'm wanting to learn, and that's the point of this meeting today, I'm wanting to learn more about Evarts community and just find out what some concerns are of the residents and what solutions that they believe could help with these concerns.
My name is Madison Mooney. I'm the Community Engagement Coordinator for Martin County, about 2 hours and a couple mountains over. I've been at this work for almost 3 years, doing the same work that Mackenzie does in Martin County and covers a lot of places throughout Appalachia. And I've done the same things in Martin County that we're trying to conduct and have here today. So I'm really looking forward to in-audience discussion and live discussion, whoever wants to chime in. And these community sessions are for you residents. It's not for us, it's for you. And the baseline of what we're trying to do is understand the rootness of the community and its deepest concerns and the residents' perspective of what type of solutions would help serve them for their area and for their community. It's all about you, nothing about us. We're here to support you and help with you and serve and work in your communities. So,
That's right.
all right, talk a little bit about the first little PAR we're going to do today, Mackenzie.
Yeah, so we're doing this activity today. More or less, there's sticky pads on the tables, but we're wanting you to list, we'll start with the concern side. We're wanting you to list some concerns you have. You can do more than one. We're wanting to know concerns you have regarding water in your area. This could be systems,
It's a very,
streams.
yes, it's very broad. Like, it could be all the way from just knowledge and understanding about your system when it comes to the affordability portion of things. It could be from, knowing where your water comes from and having that kind of ideology in space. So, people in the audience, people online, whatever comments that are shared and expressed, please let us know. We have the great Mark behind the screen doing the lives for us, so he can help us capture what the internet is saying. But please take your time, grab a sticky note, and just write down some concerns of what you feel with your home and your space.
And if there's any concerns that you see on there, I can write them down for them as well. So
Yeah.
we can add it to our board.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and start. Yes.
You people that's watching on the live stream,
Well, we got our NTR on there, but we
you got any concerns, put them in the comments.
You want us to write anything down for you, Mark? He's like, yeah, a lot.
Yeah, I'd like to know how my plant
Yeah.
got 35 years.
gotten in shape.
Yeah, in that shape. And some of the logging activity where I've seen some pretty nasty stuff. I've seen gas pipes leaking out. I've seen where a logging company dug a hole under their dozer to change oil, and they dumped the oil right in the ground, and there's a creek running down. I mean, I just wish somebody'd just check on those guys more often and quit just sliding money. I was back on one, seen where I've got it in my car, one of those little jugs of water that they supposed to sample from the mine, found it throwed off the side of the road. You know, somebody got cash put in their pocket for him to do away with that. I mean,
Didn't you get this?
You can,
a lot of that's my concerns. I mean, I know people's got to live. I know we got a mine, but these other countries do it safe and clean.
understand timeline.
Yeah, I mean, we could do better.
So,
Straight pipes.
you're interested in monitoring logging and how that impacts.
Logging and mining, yeah. Because I told them where that gas leak was up in Childs Creek when I was saying, and you know how they resolved it? They took their gate and locked it and said I ain't allowed back in there no more. After I went to the superintendent and told him that 3-inch pipe up there is hissing air straight out of the ground. You can smell it. I mean, that was his answer for me. You just ain't allowed back in here no more.
Keep on, brother.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's one of the reasons I started doing this stuff, because I noticed there wasn't no transparency with them.
Yes, no transparency.
If this isn't the most helpful thing, but you can look up Kentucky mining enforcement, something like that, and there's a website called, I can't remember, Surface Mining Information System, I think is what it stands for. It's called SMIS, and you can, if you can get the permit number, which I think you could find by the company, but it might be kind of annoying to do, you can find the recent violations that the state has issued and like the enforcement actions that the state has taken against that company, and see, well, this is what's going on. This mining company or this mining operation down from my house has violated this whatever, this regulation here.
Right.
Point is that.
That's them numbers on the trees, ain't it? I'd see them. They'll have like permit number, and it'll be like 848
Yeah.
and 3. It'll be like 6 numbers.
Yes, and like there's a hyphen in it.
Yeah, yeah. They put them on the trees.
Don't put the hyphen in if you're looking it up on Smith's, but, because it won't read that, but if you do, just take it out and you should be able to find it.
All right.
Has anyone on Facebook Live have any comments?
Not yet.
Not
no.
yet? All right, well, we'll take them as they come in, and if they come in, any more on your end? Any other comments?
I guess what it all just goes back to is our water quality and delivery. You know, that's my main concern over everything. Quality and the delivery.
On these here, what I'm gonna have y'all do, there's these dot stickers here.
Uh-huh.
There is 4. What we'll do is have you put them on the ones that you feel are the most crucial concerns to you. And you can put more than one. You know, if you feel one is just really standing out, you can put more than one dot there.
So for example, I'm sitting here, I'm up here, walking up here, I'm looking at the board, and I'm saying, no water alerts other than Facebook. That is a huge concern. That is a method that, you know, when it comes to emergency situations for flooding, freezing, you know, fallout, there needs to be another transparent plan that works across all residents, because not all residents have Facebook. Some of them don't even know how to work Facebook.
Right.
Honestly, the only reason why I know how to work Facebook is because of my job. So I think better methods of alerting the residents in the community when things like that happen to their system, whether if they're fixing it, working on it, should be easier information to get to the residents besides through social media. So that's just an example. And so you have 4 dots. You just kind of come on the board, look through what everybody else has been saying, and put a dot on what resonates with you, which is a huge concern to you. It might be something that you already wrote, or it might be something that someone else wrote. So,
I know that since the floods,
yeah,
it's been so good about getting alerts on weather.
yes. Alerts on weather, yeah.
Why couldn't they do it like that? But I know a lot of, everyone doesn't have cell phones either.
Mm-hmm,
People don't wanna sign up for it, but
yeah,
then they start calling me.
yeah.
So,
I think that should be covered by the alerts through the phone. They're
I think
working
so
on that.
too.
I mean,
They're
they
gonna, if they're
have,
gonna learn, if they're gonna alert us for things that are gonna potentially harm us,
Mm-hmm,
water usage in our own home is a big one.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think
To me, I think they should reach out through every single social media and phone call people. I think they should do
That's
it all.
That's
I
more
mean-
for solutions.
Yeah.
Solutions, yeah. We will do solutions next. Is there anywhere?
Cause like you said, somebody might not use Facebook, but they might use Twitter or they might use this. They don't have to get on there and read their comments and get mad. They just need to post their alerts and go on.
Yeah, that
You
is
know?
silly
Straight pops.
to
Straight
be
up.
upset
Yeah.
by.
Yeah.
That is definitely a big one, I'm gonna add that to that.
Is there any others you want me to?
Oh, I could take you to my house and show you 2 little 22 shots at my gas tank that they give me the overnight after I made all that public that they got on there and done that. Yeah.
Any other plans around water shutoffs?
Okay.
That's a good one.
The testing of the spring.
Would you like to
water.
put your dots
Yeah,
on
I'll
which
just cover
ones
that.
you are?
Yeah.
Yes. Mark, I can fill it in for you as well. I can read off some of the concerns that are listed up here, or you're more than welcome to come. You're more than welcome to come up here, yeah, come on up.
People here on the line might.
Be interested in chiming in.
What does that mean, boil water?
Just
That's where we gotta boil our water
Okay.
every 3
Yeah,
weeks.
yeah, I mean, like,
just a lot.
What
of
about-
Any of these
Okay.
resonate with you, Mark? I'll put a dot on it for you. You got 4 dots. Plant infrastructure, damage over time.
Yeah,
That is definitely one for sure.
yeah. I don't understand how a 30-year-old building went so downhill so quick.
What about, water plant not in the best shape? That's kind of the same thing. No transparency.
Yeah,
Is that a
yeah,
top concern?
yeah.
I'm definitely gonna put that here as well, because out of all the work that I've been doing here in Harlan County, with the old CEC that used to work with us and our current CEC, just transparency and information, just understanding what's going on.
I think I kind of agree with that too.
It's just been such a lack of. And then, source water voids.
Yeah.
Yes,
That has been the
definitely.
biggest problem here recently.
Yeah.
Testing spring water.
That's a good, that's just a good idea, yeah.
Yes, it is, yeah.
Anything else, Mark, on your end that you would like to add to the list?
No, I agree with testing the spring water.
Testing spring water?
Yeah, 'cause I drunk a lot of water straight out of my house.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now they're pouring the water.
Trust in getting information to the residents.
Yeah.
Treatment plant isn't
That's
set up to
something
pour in the river.
transparency.
Yeah, they go hand in hand, but just like the information being factual and straight to the point, and to the way that residents can connect with it, and how it makes sense for their home and what's been happening.
And I'll tell you something that the radio man said too, it was weird.
Mhm.
He said that, he got to talking to a guy at work, laying all these pipes when they first opened,
But that
when
is
they
up
first
like
done it.
Yeah.
He said a lot of it was put together right.
Yeah.
So they need somebody.
Education, that is a good one.
And,
Education and training.
yeah, and maybe somebody to come in here and look and see what they did with those rides. I mean,
That was a big lack of where I'm from too. It's like people, saying, oh, this is how we've done it for 10, 20 years, just do it this way, but it's maybe not the right way. The way that the engineers can make it make sense, to make it long standing, not just putting a Band-Aid on it, And I absolutely agree with you on that. I'm gonna put two dots on that for that one for sure.
Pipes breaking.
Yeah, 'cause they need education and training.
Yes.
Because rules change, laws change.
Regulations change.
Yeah, if you're doing it like they've done it, when he was hired 20 years ago, in early 2000s, probably doing a job wrong.
Exactly, because the standards are different qualifications are different, and different regulations come and go, and policies turn over and change with impact citizens and communities, and that's why whenever policies turn over for rural water systems, they have to be up to speed with what the policy is to make sure they meet the standards of the quota for the water delivery to the people and to the community. So I agree, exactly, that is such an important point. That is such an important point.
They need to figure it out.
Yeah, this looks awesome, guys.
Good.
So I know people have been kind of side chatting on like ideal solutions, so this is great.
Sorry.
No, this is good. So when it comes to this next part, the biggest thing is like, we know we're not engineers. We know we're not, leaders or stakeholders. We are just concerned residents about a system. And from where we live and what we've experienced and the historical knowledge of being in this community, from a resident standpoint, what type of solutions would you feel comfortable knowing or creating or discovering when it comes to these different concerns? Like, what ideas can meet your, knowledge and understanding of your concerns? So, for example, when it says testing of spring water, I know this group called the Kentucky Watershed Watch, where they have different watershed watch basins, and as long as there's a certain amount of residents that is interested in testing their tributaries, they can bring someone into the community and help train residents on how to collect water samples from their tributaries and be able to go online and see what's in their water. So that's an example of an ideal solution that the residents can get their hands on and to be involved with.
I think that would also help with transparency.
Yeah.
Exactly. So let me
If you were able to have the citizens involved in our reporting.
Yeah.
Yes. So let's work on.
And even if they didn't want us involved, I think they ought to have more than one water company to keep anybody from slipping anybody money testing.
So you're saying like some like either outside management or someone that is an engineer that can help the residents? Is that what you're trying to?
No, I'm saying, okay, say they don't want us citizens.
Competition's always good for accountability.
Yeah, I was saying, say they don't want us citizens doing that. Okay, say the city hall says, no, we won't want the citizens doing that. We gotta have our water tested, right? So get two companies that test water. That way, they can't get buddy-buddy with one and start paying them out money. They'll have to at least get buddy-buddy with two or three. I mean, to keep them in check. I mean.
Yeah, I see what you're.
Because like I said, I've seen water samples from mine thrown out the door, and I know they was sent to be tested supposedly, and somebody handed somebody some money, and that went over the hill. I mean.
So that would be for the operation that would be testing that, right? Like the mining company. Or
Yeah. Well, the mines has to have their water tested every so often. Yeah.
But we're thinking. That's specifically with mining, though. Do you mean you would also like?
I like to have my testing
for
our drinking water.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's not.
Drinking water.
Yeah. That's what I was just trying to
Yeah.
be clear.
Yeah.
For any of these,
That way, in case
concerns
there is
that
stuff
we
in
have-
our drinking water, because somebody, I don't know if it's true or not, somebody gave me a paper saying that Kaywood Water District, it had asbestos and something else in it in their water. They're supposed to be getting me the information on
You're
it.
gonna scare her.
Great.
I mean, that's scary.
Yeah,
I mean,
this was what
I mean,
about.
and if that's true, I mean, they haven't told us about it. Have you heard anything about it? I mean,
A couple of years ago, I saw a printout. I could probably find it because I think it's in my TAR stuff. But I saw a printout on everything that they had tested and what the results were on it. But like we were talking earlier, I'm not really totally trustworthy on if all of the testing results are adequate enough for me to feed my grandchild that water from. Just because they say it can be 10 milliparts per liter, is that really safe?
right,
I don't trust them. Why should I trust them after all this?
right. I agree with that. That's why I said we should have more than one company testing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is there
Sure.
any, for any of these like individual concerns, is there any solution you all can think of that we can add up here?
I'll just put, understanding how the water system tests the drink/tap water. So each system has their own method of testing their water in this system before pushing it out to the residents. And something as a CEC that I've been able to do, and something that Mackenzie's going to be able to get involved with once she connects with the water system, is to go in and take a tour at the plant and understand the methods and on how engineers and folks that work in water systems treat their water before pushing it out to their
It
people.
would be cool too, if you guys wanted to do that, could record that and share it.
Yes, I feel like that would be such an educational and
Let me
informative
know when
tool.
you're doing it, and I'll record it and share it.
Yeah, I
If
think,
that's something they allow, I know with certain, systems, they might not want it shared, so what we'll do is we will talk about that, and if it's something that they would like to share, we would be happy to do that, go
And-
through it and.
and
I know
honestly,
years ago, we used to take the children
Mhm.
for those tours.
Yes.
Of the water plants, but since
Yeah.
9/11,
So,
and
yeah.
what can happen with our water.
Yeah, there's like emergency guidelines, like in some emergency manuals in communities that there's like an emergency preparedness plan, like if someone tampers with a clarifier and gets into the system and could cause harm to residents, and I understand that jargon, but I feel like once Mackenzie's able to connect with, whether it's the Evarts water system or the Cumberland, because she covers all of Harlan County, if she can tap in and connect to at least one water system and build that bridge of rapport of like, hey, I'm trying to help residents better understand water systems, infrastructures, and how things are done, and a level where it resonates with the community members. Can I come and tour and understand what you do on a day-to-day and how you get our water prepared to push out to the community? And that can be information that could be broken down to residents to help them better understand like how their water is treated and how it's pushed out the door. Because that is something that I feel like could be a helpful tool for residents to kind of have some clarity and understanding. What are your thoughts on that?
Hey, anything. at
I was
this
Anything.
point-
I was just thinking it wouldn't hurt.
Anything at this
Anything.
point, it's got to be a step in the right direction.
Yes.
That's a
Yes.
big to-do, like a big to-do for
Yeah.
Kinsey. That
I know.
would be like,
It's like a long-term game, and,
Yeah.
and the thing is that here in a moment, we're gonna shift over, once we finish up this part, shift over to this topic called, the Harlan County Water Toolkit, and then we're gonna have some discussion about, what you would love to see in this, and we'll have further discussion on that, but
Any more solutions?
Yes.
something I'm very interested in, because I've heard a couple people have ideas. What do you guys think about source water? Like, where do you think the city should be pulling their water from?
Yes,
Like, if you have a better idea.
yeah, what other, like, rivers, or,
Well, probably not rivers.
I ain't
I
never
know.
seen Slope Holler run dry, and they ain't no mining up around Slope Holler no more.
Slope Holler.
I reckon it's a protective waterway now.
Aren't there federal guidelines on how and what you can collect,
Yeah.
as far as like rainwater and?
Rainwater would be another, if they could figure out a way to do that, but and build more of these tanks out here beside the
more
water
tanks.
pot, the thing. Put them up high on these mountains. That way they drain down and they're not trying to pump up.
That's what
Yeah.
that's what a lot of people say. Which
You know?
That's a
basic
good one.
physics, yeah.
Yeah.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
and I literally was talking with this Mackenzie yesterday, like with urban city areas like Louisville, for example, they are able to valve and circulate their water around because it's flat land compared to us that lives in the mountains. It's, sadly physics, it has to push up, push up, push up, and then if it doesn't go up, it goes all the way back down, and then you have to push it up and then reroute it off of the mountain, like it's not a flat surface, which makes it more challenging for people who live in, Appalachia, Eastern Kentucky area to get water to their homes, or whenever there is a freeze and an unthawing, water is like last to those families that live on those mountains, like they're the last to get water. So it's but if placing more water tanks, like you were mentioning, Mark, in certain hot spots where it's harder to get water to, especially if there's no like streamline of lines, it can be its own source that fuels and filters that community.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that idea, more tanks to feed,
I
certain.
wasn't able to go to the last city council meeting, but someone I spoke to said they mentioned that they plan to get a new tank, right?
Yeah,
In, I
That
think
is
it's 6
something we're
months.
working on.
yeah, but they're gonna put it right here beside the other, and I reckon. I mean, I think they need to put them up on the mountain.
Source problem though, at least.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
because
will
the
be a
people that
storage
look-
tank, it'll be, I think it was like, I don't wanna quote incorrectly, I think he had said it would almost triple what they hold right now, so, I mean,
So they could gather up more whenever they have whenever they're having plentiful times and
it seemed like they had quite a few, plans in motion, it's just,
matter of
you know how that
funding.
goes, funding,
And actually
testing and all
getting
these things they gotta do, so. But it did seem to me that they had a few things going on. The storage tank, definitely that could be,
And storage
Towards
tanks
the
in other
solution.
areas, like Mark said.
Yeah.
different areas would definitely be better. But having a storage tank in general, I think will move towards that solution that we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the reasons that people, this is just me speculating,
No, keep
why
talking.
systems may not put them in certain areas where it's difficult to get water is because of geographic concerns about having a tank there. I guess maybe there wouldn't be a good place to have a tank, you know? But
I know there's environmental studies and some things to do too.
Well, they should be able to put one anywhere out Black Mountain Ridge Road to help people in Close Splint and all that.
Yeah.
Because that's a county road and it goes all the way to Virginia. I mean, it goes all the way to the highest peak. They got a
Yeah.
Doppler thing up there.
And that's where the
Yeah.
worst of the problems were whenever things were.
Yeah.
Yeah. So another thing that I was thinking about when it comes to what you was mentioning earlier, Mark, when it comes to alerts and notifying people, I talked to a emergency, like an retired emergency director out of Martin County, and he was talking to me about this system called like the Code Red system, and it's something for like 911, first responders. You know, anybody can utilize it, but not first responders are the ones that usually use it, and it's a way. Like, you know how Amber Alerts just pop up on your phone?
Yep.
It's kind of like that, but more directed towards whether it's natural disasters, freezes, floods, and it is a very simple tool where leaders in our communities can access this app and they can circle on a map where, like, there's a flood zone here, and it can auto-populate messages either through text, either through audio, like let's say people can't read on their screen, it will automatically read it out loud to you once you get that alert. And what is it saying?
Is it a free app? Because you're dealing with people in low income.
So there is, so when it comes to this, if there's grants, when it comes to emergency preparedness and water awareness, that local residents can tap into to get systems like this in place. And there's also a system, like, you know how schools do that, like, all-call system for whenever there's, like, no school or flu? There's systems like that you can, you know, if our local leaders tap into grants for, like, communication
They're doing
outlets.
that here.
Yeah, they're doing the all-call. That was my biggest problem, though,
An
'cause
all-call.
the water boils at any time. So if I'm at work and my wife's at work, I'm not going to get that call. I like the idea about it going over the alert
It goes
phone,
without service though,
like
right?
an Amber Alert.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now
This-
this one would go even if you don't have service or
It will
your
connect
phone
to
is
you.
off, you will get that notification. It'll stay there until you
Yeah.
check it. You know.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
It would be.
that's something that
from what
I'm
I've heard.
currently doing research on more in depth wise, and if this is a tool that can be beneficial for both Martin and Harlan counties, we can tap into our resources with our national network with Pacific Institute and see if there's like big grants that can cover the fee and the cost value to get something like this operational for rural communities such as our area.
Shoot, just the alerts that we've been getting since that last big flood. I mean, that's had to
But
have
I think
saved
you
a lot
meant
of people.
Originally
I know.
for
And
the
property.
people in the
Oh, yeah.
community, but
I
it would be
think so.
free for them. They wouldn't have to get anything, but the Madison was talking about like the cost for the city or the county.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Because where you got people on low income, they're not going to pay for no app to.
Oh, it's not, like, the app is free,
Yeah.
but for like first responders or leaders to be able to use it as a tool of getting connected with their community members and getting information out, it
The
may cost a
community would
fee
pay. Yeah.
to get that going, but it's more or less, there's grants that are out there if our leaders can tap into them, especially when it comes to emergency and preparedness and awareness, that coincides with water. Like, it all comes together. It's all one and the same when it comes to the stuff that we do. But being able to get information out to your resident, it's in a quicker, easier, timely fashion that equips to all needs is the biggest thing.
Yeah, we can have traffic alerts when we're driving.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, that's how they should
Yes.
tell us about our boiled water.
Yes.
Yeah. And then if you ain't got a cell phone, if you don't use one, then they can call your house.
Yes. And you can put the different forms of communication, and like whenever like your emergency director like develops the app, they can connect with you and say which is your primary phone, which is your secondary phone, and things like that to help them be able to get in contact with you better.
Yep.
So, but I'm just sitting here looking at the rest of the concerns, seeing if there's any other ideal solutions. So when it comes to Facebook, this is just an open question out to the audience here and for our Facebook audience. is there other modes of communication that your water system does besides through social media? Is there websites for your water plants?
We don't know.
Question, I go to K-Woods
Yeah.
to see if they put an alert out.
Kaywood's Facebook page or their like website, or do they have a website?
Their Facebook.
Their Facebook page. So one of the things that, this is an idea for a solution, is one of the things that the Martin County Water Board system did and has done is create a website page for the water plant. And so if you go on their page and you can sign up for alerts, which is what I just got now, fun times, you can sign up for alerts of any bull advisories, any shutoffs, any freezes, or any emergency situation. And this is something that internally the water system did. It's not this method that they have, but it's a different method that connects to the water system's plant information, and it connects to the GIS mapping of how they talk about our system and being able to plug in which zone is going to be out with water or which tank is going to be, without water. But what are your thoughts about that? Like each water system having their own website to be able to.
That would be great, because they don't have
I
that.
think it's critical,
Yeah.
because, God forbid, you have somebody that goes to one of these areas that we get our water out of to process and does something horrible, poisons our water. How would we get to everybody to tell them,
Exactly.
don't take a bath?
Mhm.
Don't even think about turning your water faucet on. I've always been a big believer, if they can make patches to give people nicotine to quit smoking, that every time I get in the shower and I turn the water on, whatever's in that water is I'm ingesting, whether I'm drinking it or showering in it.
Mhm.
It's also in the steam too.
So I think just the emergency, I never thought about the steam.
The steam,
The
the skin is the
emergency-
biggest
That's
organ.
what y'all talked, like in the.
Disinfection byproducts,
The
yes.
emergency management part of it to me is, they need to act on that.
Yeah. Any thoughts of ideas for you, Mark, when it comes to different types of solutions based on the concerns that we've talked about? I know we've talked about emergency plans around water shutoffs, transparency, straight pipes. Is there any comments about ideal solutions for that from the audience?
I know
No,
people do it just because they can't.
no, what I've
Afford
done,
it.
said
So what do you
mine.
do there?
I don't know,
Slap them with a fine.
I don't know, but it's poisoning
Yeah,
all of
yeah.
us. I mean, we help with all the other needs. Couldn't there be a solution
So,
there?
affordability for, sewage hookup,
Yeah,
Like,
affordability. Yeah,
I don't know as much about,
affordability for sewer connection.
yeah.
Because that has been a thing on my side of the mountain as well. It's like residents straight pipe all the time into the Tug Fork River, and we're trying to clean and bring more restoration into the river to get residents to connect with the river more and enjoy the blue water trails. And depending on the time of year and depending what's going on, there's sometimes opportunities where you can either find grants about trying to get residents connected to the sewer, but it may depend on where at. So like, for example, last year in Martin County, we were trying to apply for some funding for a potential sewer connection, but it was only for one pocket of the town. It didn't cover all of the county. And there was parts of the county that are more outskirts from the city limits that are using straight piping. And those are the ones that we want to tap into to help.
Right.
And so that is a big thing. It's just like finding other ways or methods to make affordability to have sewer customers who come onto the system instead of straight piping, like being able to have like a fee or something like in payments or something in that measure.
What are you thinking, you were looking like?
And yeah, you had a brain
I
thought.
saw a biography thing about a community in Alabama
Yep, Lowndes County,
Lowndes County, yes.
that had the same
yeah,
situation. It's
It
just
happened.
pitiful.
and that's part of, yeah, I went to law
It's
school. in
pitiful
Alabama.
because we all garden, we all, now it just goes right back into.
The issue there is they're not they don't have the sewage system, like, or the waste system out that way, and so a lot of those people would have to do septic systems, but they can't afford the septic system, so that made me want, I was thinking about Loudoun County too, it made me wanna ask you guys if you know. If
I
those
hadn't heard
people
nothing
are-
about it.
Yeah, it's like they're getting, people in the community were getting like jungle diseases, like
Yes.
diseases we don't have here, because they were having to deal with their own, like, or their
Their own
family's
sewage.
waste, like, being in their yards.
Because the straight pipe issue wasn't
No.
working so much anymore, it was ended up
Saturated.
standing right in their yards.
Not to scare anyone or anything, but do you know if the system's already out that way and people who are straight up and just can't afford to connect onto it, or is it a matter of like they can't afford the septic system? Or,
I think
If you don't know-
affordability for septic is,
A lot of let's see, how can I say this? The place I know of, that family got some money. They rent that property. They just don't take care of their rental
Wow.
property. So that's been piped out and into that river, and there's a big pile of kudzu back there.
it's a shame.
And so nobody hardly fools with it. When I lived there, they used to pay me $100 to go out there and unclog it. And I was like, what am I unclogging? And when I realized what I was unclogging, I wouldn't do it no more. I thought, oh God, yeah. But that, I know they could probably afford to put it in there. I mean, they got 4 trailers I know they rent right there. And plus there's about 3 or 4 more on their land that they own. So, yeah, they could put a septic tank in if they
Yeah.
wanted to.
okay,
I
so
mean,
that's just, yeah.
Is there
That's just a
anything
matter
else
of-
y'all wanna talk about with the
Yeah.
solutions part before we move on?
I think we've covered it.
And the biggest thing is that this is a growing thing that we're doing here in the community. Like, this is not just one community session and off.
Yeah.
We plan on trying to come back in and hear more from residents, get more feedback from the people, see any updates, some ideas, and just helping you guys, when it comes to what the citizens want, and making sure it is heard loud and clear to the stakeholders that you guys vote in as our leaders to make things happen, to bring more security and more transparency to you. So we're going to take a 15-minute kind of like break. We have snacks, drinks, and water in the back. And then we're going to prep up for the second part of today's meeting, which is kind of going over this toolkit that LiKEN Knowledge has developed based on some local knowledge from Harlan County residents. And wanting to try to see like what your all thoughts and ideas on this so-called toolkit would look like from a resident's perspective. So you're good to cut live for now, and
Alright.
then and pause the YouTube video, and we'll kind of circle back here in 15 minutes. Let people stretch their legs, use the restroom,